Hi, I'm Sam, the founder of The Wonderhood. I'm a hypnobirthing and antenatal teacher and a mum of two. I believe that all births are unique, and no matter the place or type of birth you choose, if you have the knowledge and practical tools, then you can confidently approach birth in a way that is right for you, your body and your baby. In this video, I'm going to teach you some techniques to balance your pelvis. These techniques are all based on research and studies around the biomechanics of birth. So biomechanics is literally the science of movement in the human body. This is particularly relevant during birth, as the way that you and your body moves can really affect the position of your baby and your birth experience. I want you to know how to move your body in a positive way to help make space for your baby so that they can get into a great birth position. So one of the most common reasons that your baby might struggle to get into a great position is because of an imbalance in your pelvis, meaning that your muscles and ligaments as well, maybe, they could be slightly twisted or overly tight. So here are some simple techniques that you can use during pregnancy and birth to help balance your pelvis. These techniques are based on the Miles circuit, so you can research that one. And the work from Spinning Babies, also check them out. And my teacher, Molly, from Biomechanics for Birth, so she's a great one to look at too. Okay, so providing there are no reasons why you shouldn't do any of these exercises, then I'd suggest that you practice them once a week, one after the other. So the 4 exercises that I'll run through today are forward leaning inversion, side lying release, rest pose, and lunges. So first is the forward leaning inversion. So this is a bit of a weird one, and I know you're probably gonna look at this and think, oh my God, no way, but I'm gonna get you to basically turn upside down. This is really great for balancing the muscles and ligaments in your pelvis and creating space for your baby. So this is particularly helpful if you want to encourage your baby to change their position. So this will take the gravitational pressure off your baby for a second and allow them to move out of the pelvis slightly and let them readjust their position and kind of have another go. So as I said, you can use this weekly during pregnancy, and then during labor, if things are progressing slowly, or if your baby is maybe back to back, you can use this too. So you should only ever do this for 30 seconds, which is the length of 3 up breaths, basically. You can do 1 or 2, whatever feels right for you. So the effects of this can last up to 4 hours during labor. So if you need to, then you can repeat 1 or 2 of these again after another 4 hours. Okay, so some safety advice first. Please don't use this if you have high blood pressure, glaucoma, polyhydramnios, or if you're susceptible to strokes, or if it just feels uncomfortable. Please don't use it. Also, please make sure that you have someone there to support you while you're doing this. Okay, so you want to be kneeling upright on the edge of a sofa or a bed. And then birth partners, you're going to help them lower themselves down to the floor. So you want to go straight onto your forearms in a kind of triangle shape here. So tuck your head down and relax your neck. And you actually want to be quite vertical here, so your bum is really pointing straight up in the air. Then you only want to stay here for about 30 seconds, which is about the same as 3 breaths. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. Then when you're ready, birth partners, you're going to slowly help them back up to kneeling. It's important here that you don't sit back on your heels, but you go straight to kneeling upright again. And then stay there for another 30 seconds or so. Then if you want, you can repeat that 1 more time. If you only want to do 1, then you should get up now and move around or go for a little walk to give everything time to kind of settle back down. The next one is your side lying release. So this one is a little bit less strenuous. This can really help to lengthen your ligaments and muscles to allow more space for your baby to move down through your pelvis. So this technique is used in Norway as a standard practice by midwives if your labor is progressing slowly. And before they suggest that you have any intervention, they always make sure that you've tried this position first. So this is a great one to practice and add to your labor list. You can use this weekly during pregnancy and every 4 hours as well during labor. And for the best results, you should just use it straight after your forward leaning inversion. Please don't use this though if it feels uncomfortable at any point. Otherwise, go for it. Okay, birth partners, you're a vital part of this one. So the best place to use this is lay on a bed. I know I'm showing you on a sofa, but just imagine it's a bed, as they're a much better height. So you'll need to be lay on your side with a small pillow and move yourself right up to the edge of the bed. You can feel maybe a little bit unsteady in this position, like you might kind of want to fall off the bed. So you should make sure you have something in front of you to support yourself, maybe a stool or a chair or your birth ball even. Then birth partners, you're going to check that your shoulders, hips, knees and feet, and they're all stacked on top of each other and they're in a nice straight line. Once you're comfy, then birth partners, you want to take their top leg and lift it out in front of you at around 45-degree angle, bend their knee and then lower it down towards the ground. So now you'll need to put your hand on their top hip and push slightly backwards to make sure that their hips are still stacked. You shouldn't feel any pain or discomfort under your bump or down the side of your back or legs. If you do, then you'll need to adjust your position slightly because this stretch is not happening in the right place really if you're feeling that. And then you can gently start to rock their hips backwards and forwards in kind of a jiggling motion. And make sure they're comfy and keep this up for 10 minutes. Then swap sides and do 10 minutes on the other side. So that's really important to make sure that your pelvis is all nicely balanced. You can still use this if you've had an epidural. So birth partners, you'll just need to sit in front of them instead and balance their leg on your knee so it's not dangling down to the floor. Otherwise, it's exactly the same and has the same effect. This is also really effective if you use it while you're pushing. So if your contractions have started to space out or progress slows down at any point, once you've done both sides, you should get up and have a walk around or be in a more upright position. Okay, your next technique is your rest position. So this position is great for labor if you're feeling tired. But you can also practice this at any point during your pregnancy, really, if you're at home and you just fancy a bit of a rest. Rest is so important during labor to keep your energy up, but this position can also help your baby to rotate, ready for birth. And birth partners, again, this is one for you to help with. Okay, so first you need to create a comfy nest around you and your bump using cushions and pillows. Then you should roll forwards with your bump supported and your shoulders facing the floor. Then bend your top leg out in front of you at 90 degrees. Stretch your back foot out behind you, past your bum. And make sure that you're comfy. And just readjust until you're really comfy because you're going to stay here for around 30 minutes or so. You can choose your side depending on your baby's position. If your baby's spine is on your left, then lie on your right side. If you're not sure, then you can just alternate sides, doing 30 minutes on each side. If you only have time for one, then just choose a side that feels best for you. And remember, you can do this anytime you need to rest during labor. For around 30 minutes in between movement and different positions will be perfect. Okay, the next one is a labor lunge. So this is a great active position for labor as it doesn't really require too much movement, but it is great for helping to open up your pelvis and make space for your baby to move down. So the asymmetry in your pelvis in this position is what really makes it work. So you can use this during pregnancy, but it's most important during labor if things aren't moving as quickly as you would have hoped in the first stage of labor, or even when you're pushing, you can use this technique. If this feels uncomfortable though, at any point, then please stop. So you want to face forwards, but have a chair or a stool to one side of you. Then put your foot on the stool, pointing away from your body at kind of a 90-degree angle. Birth partners, you might want to support with this one, so be in the vicinity. So then you'll rock over your knee for the entire length of your contraction, making sure that your knee doesn't go past your toes though, that's important. Then once your contraction is passed, you can put your leg back down and rest, and then do the same again for 10 contractions in total. Then once you've done it for 10 contractions, then you can swap sides and do the same again for 10 contractions on the other side. So these positions can be used during pregnancy or labour to help release the pelvis and get your baby into a great position. I'd highly recommend practicing these during pregnancy, simply so that you feel confident that you know what to do and how to use these techniques. So if you do need them during labour, then you'll know what to do. If you've been using these during labour and still aren't seeing any changes, then there might be things happening with your body, your baby, or maybe even your uterus that you and your midwife just can't see. And that might be why your baby can't move into a more preferable position. It could be the position of the cord, the position of the placenta, the shape of your uterus or pelvis, but unfortunately there's no way that you can really know. So you might need to birth your baby in a different way, and that'll be the way that's best for both of you. But remember, it's so important to remember this, your body hasn't failed you. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.